Hi, welcome back. My name is Tony and I'm going to show you how to make the quickest, most delicious fat-free gravy that you've ever had. I promise you, it's superb. So if that interests you, stay tuned. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let's get started. You're like, fat-free gravy, impossible for it to taste good. It does, I promise you. I've been eating this for years, and that's why I created this channel, so I could share with you some of my favorite recipes, and then eventually we can learn and discover new recipes together. But first, I want to show you my fat-free brown gravy. And literally, if you're looking for ideas already, I put them on my mashed potatoes, my steamed green beans, lentil loaf, tofu, tofurkey come Thanksgiving. Literally anywhere you put a gravy that you would use in your Western diet, you can use it on your traditional vegan food. So it is super, super simple. And of course, as I complain often about my Parisian style kitchen, I have to move us over to the stove. But before I do that, before we start making this dish, I want to introduce you to a couple of more pantry alert items that I did not have in my pantry when I went plant-based, so they might not be already in yours. So the first one I want to introduce you to, and sorry again if you're already a vegan, bear with me, but first one is whole rice flour. Yes, I did not have this in my pantry, never heard of it, but it is in so many recipes. So of course, I went ahead and bought some. And this is what is going to be in this recipe that might not already be in your pantry. So the next one is tamari sauce. I feel like a game show host. It is an equivalent to soy sauce, but for people who have some gluten intolerance or need to be gluten-free, this is really your best bet. And personally, it has a little bit of a different taste that I really enjoy, I've come to enjoy. Literally never heard of this as well when I went vegan. So again, I wanted to introduce you to tamari. Tamari sauce. It's the same price as soy sauce, and you'll probably find it in your Asian food aisles. So it's not like a specialty item that you're going to be annoyed with me. They're like, Tony, how many items do I have to go to the vegan store for? This will be in most likely in your Asian food aisles or an Asian food market. So those are the two items I wanted to introduce you to. So we're going to cut now over to the stove because there's no way I can film myself cooking at the same time. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we've moved everything over into my kitchen area, and we're going to start. The very first item I'm going to put in, first we'll get the we'll have a small pot, and I'm going to turn it to a medium-high heat. And well, actually, I'll start it on high, and then we might bring it down to a medium because we'd never want to get this, excuse me for that loud bang, we never want it to get too hot. I'm going to go ahead and mix a little bit again. I'm going to scooch that over here for us. You'll need a whisk as well in case you're a lump connoisseur and you don't want too many lumps. So I went ahead and made some vegetable stock. If you guys can get that in a grocery store, great. I usually have to, here in Paris, I need a powder that I add water to. So this is 1.5 cups of vegetable stock. Any flavor that you like or any brand you like is fine. It's not a particular thing that you need to worry about. And then we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of the tamari sauce that I talked about. That's going to give this nice rich depth of flavor and also the beautiful brown color that we want, just like a traditional gravy. Now, again, this is super fast, so pay attention. So, and now we're going to add in a teaspoon of onion powder. And this is where and I'll just stir that up a little bit, get that going. And as it's warming up, we will start to add in a little bit of the flour once it has a rolling heat going. So I'm just going to add the lid, and we will come right back as soon as it is a rolling boil. And of course, we're going to go ahead and add in a 1/2 cup of just plain water, just to add some lighten up the little bit of the tamari sauce because it can get intense. So you definitely want to use, if you're using a soy sauce or tamari sauce, you definitely want to use the low sodium because it can get quite salty quite fast if you're not careful. So the water just kind of helps keep it from getting too salty. And of course it adds a little extra gravy that everyone can enjoy. So I'm just going to put the lid back on and let it get going. Okay, so I can see it starting to bubble up. We don't want it to be a full-on boil or then the gravy gets really lumpy. So now we're just going to start to incorporate the whole rice flour. We just add a little bit at a time. And again, I don't worry too much when there's lumps, but for those of you who really want to avoid lumps, take it slow. And I can see that it's getting up too hot, so I'm just going to turn it down, as I mentioned, to a medium heat. Just take it off the heat for a hot second, no pun intended. And then I'm just going to continue to add the rice flour, stir it in with the whisk until it's all incorporated. And if you're noticing, if you have these ingredients on hand, this is a super quick sauce to add to any meal that you're going to make, and really it tastes so good. I cannot wait for you guys to try and tell me how you like it. In fact, don't even tell your meat eating friends and family, just let them try it, and then you let them know that there was no animal products, no grease, low calorie, but full of flavor. And again, this is super fast, so once I get all the flour in and it starts to, thicken up, that's all it takes. For me tonight, I'm going to be adding it to some mashed potatoes, and which I love, but I've literally added it to anything and everything you could put gravy on without being, gluttonous, i.e. I could just eat it with a spoon lots of times. So I'm just gonna keep using my whisk, try to keep the lumps out, get the flour going. I got a nice boil. Just add the remaining flour here in a second once I get all of the flour incorporated. Stirring. How am I doing, my chef friends? Are my techniques making you cringe? Yeah, I'm not a chef. I just play one on YouTube. Okay, that is it. I'm just going to now make sure everything's incorporated. It just gets to be a nice, beautiful gravy sauce. I mean, really, it looks exactly the same as when I was a meat eater eating gravy with meat and grease. That's it, guys. That's as fast as it goes. Now, again, I don't care too much. I see some lumps, but that is no big deal for me. But should that bother you, you just keep whisking away. Not a problem. So it is all ready, and I'm going to come right back and plate it up with my mashed potatoes and give it a taste test. Hold tight. So that was it. Did you see that? Did you blink? Did you miss it? All the ingredients again were being shown as we go along, but also if you check down in the description below, I'll have the full recipe for you as well, so you can just do like a screenshot and go to the grocery store and get all the ingredients that you need. I'm talking so fast because I am so hungry. I love gravy, and what better way to have gravy than guilt-free? So, of course, I have now added it to the mashed potatoes that I prepared, that I'll also probably do on another episode, just about how to make creamy mashed potatoes without any kind of dairy or butter. And it is so delicious and so good and low calorie for those of you who are getting ready for hopefully a COVID-free summer next year. But anyway, this is the gravy I made. As it cools, it definitely gets creamier, and so it's great for storage before I start eating. It's great in storage. You can freeze it in a sealed container, or you can put it in the fridge. The amount that I just made, it'll probably last me a week if I'm being a good girl. And if I just don't eat it with the spoon all by itself. And you can definitely keep it up for like 5 days in a sealed container or freeze it. It freezes great. And when you heat it up, just add some more water to it and, to thin it out a little bit, and it'll be great. This is so good, people. I see it steaming. I'm afraid I'm going to burn myself. I don't care. Dear Lord, it's so good. This is really, really good. Just a reminder, you can literally add it to anything. Vegan biscuits, lentil loaf, tempeh, tofu, tofurkey, mashed potatoes if you're on a carb loading night. So I hope you enjoyed watching how I made this, and if you give it a try, send me a picture. Let me see how it's going for you all. I really want you guys to feel included in this process. So if you like this, please, I think I'm drooling in gravy, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, or share with a friend, and I'll see you next time.